Located in a region already shaped by multiple conflicts, the latest escalation in the Middle East is presenting a new test for Türkiye. Sharing a long border with Iran, Ankara once again finds itself in a delicate position, trying to prevent the crisis from spilling across the region while pushing for diplomacy. So far, Turkey has stayed out of the conflict, even as it edges closer to its borders. Thus far, 3 Iranian missiles headed toward Turkish airspace were intercepted by NATO defense systems, prompting authorities to raise the alert level along the border, putting Ankara on high alert while it works to keep the country out of the conflict.
Especially given the current situation in our region, we need both solidarity and common sense. As a government, we are extremely vigilant against the traps and provocations aimed at dragging our country into war. We focus not only on the visible aspects of events, but also on what lies behind the scenes. We do not rule out any possibility and evaluate every detail thoroughly. We are also taking the necessary preventive measures against any threats that violate our airspace, as was the case with the third downed missile. We are striving to keep our country out of the line of fire.
Since the US-Israeli assault began, Turkey has denounced both the strikes on Iran and Iran's retaliatory attacks, calling for restraint from all sides, warning that the conflict could spiral far beyond the region. The growing fears of a wider war are also being echoed by the United Nations.
The region and the world desperately need an off-ramp. De-escalation and dialogue are the only way out. And I strongly urge all parties to cease the hostilities, uphold international law, protect civilians, and return immediately to the negotiating table.
And that is where Turkey says it wants to play a role, positioning itself as a regional mediator while maintaining direct contact with multiple sides in the crisis. Officials say Ankara has been holding a series of diplomatic consultations with regional leaders and global powers, including the United States, Iran, and Gulf countries, urging restraint and warning that the conflict could spread across the Middle East if tensions are not brought under control. Behind the scenes, Ankara is stepping up its diplomatic efforts to calm tensions while bracing for whatever the conflict may bring next.
This war must end as soon as possible. Türkiye is putting intense effort into ending the war. We continue to exchange ideas with neighboring countries to end the conflict and reduce tensions. Almost all countries, both in the east and west, think the same way.
Turkish officials also argue that the current escalation is deeply tied to broader regional tensions, with Ankara placing much of the blame on Israel's Netanyahu government. At the same time, Turkey has warned against any retaliation that could widen the conflict, stressing that the priority must be preventing a broader regional war. For now, Ankara says it will continue balancing diplomacy and military preparedness as the crisis next door threatens to reshape the Middle East security landscape. Asli Atbas, TRT World, Ankara.